Hello, everyone, and welcome to Heart to Heart. We are on episode 6, and today I have a very special guest. He's one of my dear friends, and he is a member of Third Party Crew and representing Ottawa's very own Flavor Factory. We have Armel. What up, what up?
Yo, what up?
How's it going?
It's going well. I don't know, just living day by day, doing my thing. And yeah, just waiting for this pandemic to end.
Right? I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right, any day now. It's not
Anytime
even a
now.
watch. It's not even a watch. It's just a bracelet. I'm like, any day now. Let's go. Let's hurry this shit up.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have a
Mhm.
bunch of stuff to ask you.
Okay.
So my first question to you is, well, actually, just a little bit of background context. Armel and I are really good friends, and we've been friends for maybe like what, 7, 8 years?
7, 8, yeah. That's a long time.
Yeah, and we're both street dancers in the Ottawa
Mhm.
community. And when you're a street dancer in the Ottawa community, you really don't remember how you meet. It's either at practice or a jam or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's either or. It's like
Yeah.
I have a feeling that we might have met at a jam, but
Sounds like,
yeah.
yeah. For um, a lot of viewers who may not necessarily be familiar with hip hop and street dance culture, I think with
Mm.
hip hop culture, um, people see hip hop as like one style of dance when it's actually broken down into like multiple different mediums, and street dance is one
Mhm.
of them. And within street dance, there is hip hop, but there's also a bunch of different dance genres.
Yeah.
And you do the style popping. So for people
Yeah.
who are not familiar with popping, can you give us a definition of it and how you got started with popping?
Okay. So popping for me, um, well, popping originated in California, back in California on the West Coast. And the style that I practice is animation, and like roboting. But I've also like gone to like the foundation of popping by looking up the founders of popping, such as Boogaloo Sam, Popping Pete, and I follow more of the foundation that the electric boogaloos um, that have created within popping, such as let's see here, the Twisto Flex, Fresno, so many other styles too. Walkouts, like there's so many other variations within the popping dance that you've just combined all these techniques together and then find yourself. So popping is a style where we dance to funk music or popping music, and it's more of a dance that's like, it's not rigid, but it's more of a muscle contraction type of dance. You dance with muscle contractions. You create robotic movements with it as well as you're doing so, and you look like you're just basically exploding everywhere. It's just like a huge explosion of electricity just like coursing through your body. So how I got into popping was not traditionally fundamentally correct. I was more into like that commercialized like aspect of it, because when I was a kid, I grew up watching like step up movies. And then I saw this one dude in the movie of number two just doing like this weird rigid movement and whatever, right? So at the time when YouTube was a thing, I would like Google search robotic movements and it would take me straight to Mr. Wiggles. And I was like, who is this guy? And he's performing in France and doing this robot dance, and I couldn't believe my eyes. So, and also like down the line, like I would also find like videos of uh, certain poppers like Bruno Falcon teaching Michael Jackson how to do the robot, teaching him how to do the moonwalk and all that stuff. I was like, dude, so this is where Michael Jackson got his moves, like oh, it's been a grand adventure from like when I was a kid into a teenager. Then once I became like 18 years old, I really started to understand like the fundamentals of popping, but I still wouldn't get it because like there were times where I would find myself like off beat, just not able to like combine movements together and always jumping and rushing. And it didn't really like get to a good point until I moved to Montreal, where I actually learned how to do the dance, like how to actually understand the music, timing, the foundation, different styles. And honestly, like when I moved there, I truly discovered myself. Like I found that popping is my calling, animation is my calling, ground moves is my calling. Like I put all those three things together and I just became who I am today.
Because you're one of Ottawa's only poppers, but one of the things that I really admire about your style as well, because I believe you started in breaking, right?
Yeah, that breaking was one of my first styles. Yeah.
Because and I think that's where I was like, holy crap, like his floor work is like, you make your movements so effortless, like it can be fluid, especially your groundwork. I've always admired your groundwork, and I'm like,
Thank you.
dang, how can I flow like that one day, you know? But you're breaking it, like it just adds a whole other level to your popping, which I've always been a fan of. Always been a fan of.
Aw, thank you. I
Um,
appreciate that.
but even like you said, within popping, there's different styles within it, like
Yeah.
animation. There's tutting,
There's
um,
waving, there's
waving,
roboting. Well, animation is
roboting.
part of roboting. Um,
I'm probably
did you
forgetting
say
a
tutting?
bunch.
Yeah. There's strutting.
Strutting, yes.
There's another style. There's miming. There's so
Yeah.
many different things that you can utilize within popping that has like this huge umbrella of other things that just flow out of it.
Hmm.
Me, I mostly focused on like the popping aspect and the animation aspect of it. And of course, like from my breaking, like I did lots of various movements on the ground and I just like mix it up together. But it really blew up when I saw a video of another popper that's also from the West Coast, Boogie Frantic, doing the
Oh,
moonwalk at
yeah.
I think it was at the Oscars performance in 2009ish or 2010ish or something like that, and he was performing with this group called the LXD. So when I saw him do the knee glides, I was all like, "Yo, that's fire!" Like I have to find a way to do that. So I practiced and practiced and practiced. And then from knowing what he was doing, from seeing what he was doing, I created my own way of movements, like spinning around, rotating, one knee glide, like just different other things. And as I continued doing my research on finding more ground moves within popping, I found Mr. Wiggles again doing crazy ground moves.
Mr.
Like,
Wiggles.
dude, is insane.
So recently, because of the pandemic,
Mm.
battles and events have moved online. So how would you describe battling the experience battling online versus in person? And um, do you think battling online will be the new norm?
At the moment right now, it seems like battling online is the new norm. Um, but we could still battle online. We could still do all that. It's just the way I've seen other cities do it, like Toronto and Montreal. I just wish you were doing stuff like that in Ottawa when it came to battles. You know, like have the dancers there and we broadcast it online, one on one, still keep that, 6 feet or 12 feet, whatever, how many feet they need us to be. Like, yeah. Is it 2 feet? Yeah, it's 2 feet. 6 feet seems pretty long, but
Yeah, yeah.
max 2 to 3 feet away from each other, and just compete while it's being broadcasted live for people to watch at home. That was like something that I saw in Toronto. I don't know which battle they did in Toronto, but I got to see like a snippet of it on Instagram. But one battle in Montreal that I got to see that was broadcasted like that was Jack of all trades, and it was
Oh, I didn't know
successful.
that moved online.
Yeah, it was so hype because it's not that we are looking at somebody's computer or phone screen and then they're battling someone else that's at home on their phone screen or whatever. It's just the dancers are on a stage battling each other and the people are watching it live and cheering them on and stuff, and they were being broadcasted on like a monitor with like different little panels, like exclusively for like the audience and stuff, and then they had panels for like uh the judges. It was just, if battles online were more like that, and I know battles that are like international can't be like that. I mean, you can't fly there and just be on
Yeah.
stage and stuff like that. So I understand that aspect where we'd have to use our phones or our computer screens, or computer monitor, or like, I don't think I'm saying the right thing, but if you were using like technology to broadcast our auditions or like our battles or stuff like that, I understand. But when it comes to like local stuff, I think we can try to do like live battles between the two competitors, because like for me, when it comes to battling, I want to face my opponent live. I want to be there in the moment with the person that I'm battling, because it's about the music and the person that you're battling. So back then, before COVID, it was always like that. It was never about like,
Yeah.
the crowd and the judges. Like, no, if I'm on the dance floor against this one person, it's me and you dishing it out and then basically giving our all to the music, like representing the music and our style that we're doing in the moment. So that was just like how I felt about battles. Well, no, that's how I feel about battles. That was. And right now, it's just kind of like I'm just dancing in front of a phone. I don't feel the energy. Like, I don't know what I'm like trying to do or whatever. It's like, it's not a natural feeling for me.
But do you think that your creative process has changed because we're being locked in?
I think my creative process within dance has grown a bit because like I've had so much time to myself and just like trying to understand what I want to do with my style, and understanding like what is going to happen in the future when it comes to like teaching. Like I'm always constantly gaining more knowledge every single day, and I'm finding new ways to teach, finding new ways to understand how to give information to certain people, just so they can understand the lesson. Um, for me, it's more like I live in my own hyperbolic time chamber, and I'm constantly like growing and like just utilizing all the time that I have. Like before the pandemic, yeah, I had time, but now I have time. Like I have a lot of time to just simply, I go to work and then I come home and I have X amount of hours to myself. But sometimes, work is kind of like overloading and I have to stay an extra hour or so, or like an extra 2 hours, depending on like the situation that we're in or whatever. And I won't have time for that. But then usually when I do have the time, it's like I utilize that time to just train, to work on my craft, and to learn new things, to understand new things. Right now, I'm trying to learn how to do Memphis juking. Yeah,
Ooh, I've always
like
wanted to learn.
yeah,
It
it's
looks
such a it's
insane.
a fun, it's a cool looking style. It's very technical. And the thing is, like, I'm watching a lot of Young Buck,
Yeah.
and his his foundation, like, oh man, when it comes to like the toe stuff, I really have to drill that, because like that is such it's painful.
It
First of all, it's
is.
painful because um, he utilizes uh, like foundation from ballet, which
Mm-hmm. Like
allows him
point
to do toe
dancers.
spins, point dance. Yeah, exactly. And the way he does his movements and the way he balances himself on like one foot on his toe, I'm just like, how do you get to that point? So like for me, I'll always look at his freestyle videos. I'll always look at his mini series of teaching like different juking styles and like just the basic movements. Like I'm still trying to like find like a website where all his footages are up and you could just like, I don't know, maybe buy them or like sign up for like a class online or something like that. I'm just trying to explore something new to add into my style because I pop, I animate, and when I look at Memphis juking, like it's just the music catches me. Like I'm a fan of trap. Like trap beats are just like they're actually really cool. Like just the way that they sound, the hi hats, the bass, the kick. Like it's a lot of things happening, and it also is part of hip hop as well. So like that's why I'm so intrigued by it. Like as a popper, I still dance to funk music, but like sometimes and sometimes a lot of the times, like I listen to a lot of hip hop beats, a lot of trap beats, a lot of what do you call those? Drill music, like drill hip hop beats, like the ones that you hear from. Do you know this singer by the name, may he rest in power, Pop Smoke?
Mm-hmm.
Like his beats, they make me want to move in such a weird animated hip hopish way, and I want to like utilize these styles that I'm learning to combine with my style. Like it really took me a while to understand that I can't just be one style.
Yeah.
I have to practice other styles and utilize it to add it into my portfolio. For example, locking.
Yeah.
I'm a popper. I should have locking, and I never practiced locking. So I learned a little bit of locking from
Not
oh,
Takeyoshi. Did I call it
no, not
Takeyoshi?
Takayoshi. No.
Wiggles?
Actually, no. Yeah, that was like way back.
That
But
was
then
way
I,
back like 2016 or 2017 when
oh
Takeyoshi
no, oh
when
yeah, it was
Takeyoshi was in
Takayoshi for
town.
sure. But the one person that actually got me into it consistently, actually two of them, was Simon and
Yeah.
Natash. When Natash
Yeah.
came to the city and she was teaching her locking class, I jumped on it. Simon, same thing. Like whenever he had a class and I had time for it, I would jump on it. I was like
Mm.
literally in 3 classes for Simon and just learning like the basic foundation of locking. Like I still don't know the terminologies of it, but I still practice it. And from Natash, she showed us some footwork. She made us understand like how to actually do the movements, like and gave us a history on how locking came to be. Uh, like it was just like a lot of things happening for me when it came to locking. So I took the time to like really try to understand like why poppers need locking in their style. It gives you that dance groove, like that natural dance. I don't know how to call it, but it's just like it makes you feel like you can dance to anything. For
Mm-hmm.
locking, like I can just literally put in any beat and just lock.
I feel like
So
it's a core. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, it
Like the
is.
dance, like core. Like I feel
Mm-hmm.
the same way when it comes to locking and whacking, even though like whacking is like primarily disco, but we do get
Yeah,
down to like funk.
yeah,
But I feel like the arm movements are so similar. Like locking, there's a different like sort of base than whacking, but just like you said, like you can just you put something on, you can just get down to it. You know what I
get
mean?
it down
I
to it. Yeah.
totally relate.
And the thing that I really appreciated about locking is the fact that when we were learning the foundation, it came to me quick because
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing these movements, but I didn't know it was locking. Like, you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
It was just so weird. Like, what? oh man, it made a lot of sense too. So it improved my natural movements even more.
Out of all the number of battles that you've participated in and performances you've done, do you have a favorite battle you've participated in or a favorite performance and why? It's a lot. It's a heavy question.
Oh man. Okay. All right. This battle discontinued on the same day I actually went. Well, it didn't discontinue like on the spot, but it can discontinued like after it was done. Bust a move. I
I knew you were going to
actually
say that. I had a
yeah,
feeling.
I actually went to my first bust a move in, I think it was in 2014. Yeah, I think that was the
It's
last
last
one.
year?
2014.
Was that it's
Not
last year?
that was its last year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or 2015.
And
I got one of those.
yeah. I went to the battle and I experienced everything. Cause like not only was this place huge, but this place was like packed. I mean packed with dancers from Europe, dancers from the States, dancers from I don't know what Asian country they were from, but they were from Asia. And I was just like, dude, this is amazing. There was like food stands, there was like t-shirt stands, little kiosks where you could take your pictures and stuff. It was like jam packed. It looked like a giant concert.
It
And
did.
I wish I competed. I wish I had the time to like literally tell myself, you know what, I'm gonna compete at Boston Move, bro. Like I'm gonna
Yeah,
do it.
because I think I went the same year as you and I didn't compete either. And I was like just
Oh,
as mind blown as you. I was like, oh my God, this place is
this
huge.
place
And
is
the
amazing.
seats are
Oh,
packed. It's like a
yes.
full few day experience. And then
Mhm.
exactly like I felt like you, I'm like, well, this will be around next year. It's a huge hit. But
And then I found out it was the last one. I was like, what?
what the
What
heck?
going
Yeah.
on? This is such a dope festival. Like, oh man. But after that, there were other battles that I went to, and my other favorite one has to be Jack of all trades. And this battle, it tests your your skill, like your skill in like hard hits and dimes, waving, cutting and lines, ramen effects, animation, and your
Mhm.
groove. I think there was something else. Am I missing something?
Was there
Was there?
floor work or
Yeah,
footwork?
there was ground. There was ground. Oh my God, Armel, come on! Like you ground, bro. How can you forget these? Okay, so yeah, there were like 6 categories, and then of course there's the creation part that comes after it, and mixing different concepts and whatever. But that battle always got me to know new dancers from across the world. Like it was always like a new experience every time I went every year. And this festival was, oh, it was amazing. My favorite year had to be, well, personally for me, my favorite year was the last year that just happened. Um, Back in 2018, I think. Yeah, that was the last one. And I surprisingly did well to the point where I amazed myself on how far I could go. Like making it to the top 8 in battling Future was it was nerve wracking for
Wow.
me. But it just seemed like that whole night was like a challenge for me because like right after the prelims, they matched me up against Bruce from France, and I'm like, why? Like, what?
You're like,
Right away.
thanks for
Like, thanks,
that.
bro. Like, that's great. But you know what? What happened on that dance floor? I became this completely different person. And I didn't even recognize myself when I watched the footage. And I was like, wow. I pulled through. Like I actually did my thing. And the thing is, like, I've never ever felt like I could do the things that I did there if I was just thinking. In that moment, I was not thinking. I was like literally letting myself go and just basically taking my body further and further and further up until the end. But then when it came to futures battle, I was all like, oh, okay, I really need to push myself, man. Like it's just I'm facing a dude that's actually well experienced in battles and understands himself completely. Me, I'm still kind of nervous and stuff and whatever, stumbling on a couple things. I did my thing, and I think I did well. I still think there should have been like another round because like I wanted to redeem myself, but when I lost that, um, I really took that loss and I learned from it. So ever since that battle happened, I was just training on things that I wasn't good at, especially when it came to like hard hits and dimes, when it came to my tucks and lines, my undulation, just grooving, because like I hardly groove in my dance most of the time too. Like it's just I'm always just doing the dance and I'm just doing the thing. Well, not doing the dance, but like I'm doing like the technique and everything and just different concepts, but I'm never really like exploring the dance aspect for it. But when I'm off camera and I'm doing my thing, I dance. I just chill and I have fun, like I'm doing my thing. But when I put the camera on, it's like shut down, whatever. But when the camera's off and I'm just doing my own thing on my own, it's like just I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, like just feeling the vibe, just dancing, goofing off too. Like that's something I don't normally even do in like competitions. Like just loosen up, like just do my thing and just like have fun. Yeah, exactly. Like just have fun, just dance. And like that's the thing that I noticed about like professional dancers too. They always have fun. My favorite dancers to watch is MT Pop.
Yes.
This guy is just like when you watch him, you can't stop watching him because he's just really good at dancing. He's really good at doing his thing. Another dancer too that I like as well is Soul from the States. I don't know where he resides right now, but yeah, he's from the States. But when he dances, when he pops, when he animates, when he does a thing, he has a groove. And like that's a thing that I always want to try and do. So I'm drilling my dance. Well, not drilling my dance, but I'm just trying to like understand just the groove aspect of just social dancing. Just like allowing myself to feel more free and just not worry about like hitting hard and doing the most technical robotic movements. Like actually dance with your style. I have so many things in a vault that I have not touched in a long time. And when I look back at my old videos, I'm like, I don't do that anymore. I used to do this. Like, why don't I do this? Like there's certain things like that I used to do back then. I used to be like really all about like man, what was it called? Like, remember my knee spins back in the day?
Yeah. Oh, the good old Armel Mz
Yeah,
spins.
good old Armel Mz spins. Those are like one of the things that I don't do. Another thing too that I just stopped doing was like just utilizing the ground and dancing with whatever I had on the ground, like being more like improvising more when it came to my dance. Like I don't do that anymore. I'm just strictly, like foundation, 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 foundation. And when I look at myself now and back then, I feel like I was more animated back then than I am now. Because like I was really focused on robot. And there were moments of like my old videos that made me look super unreal because I was really focused on that. However, I was offbeat. But then but that Armel was more focused on being himself than just, trying to impress other people or do things to like make him feel like he gets it, like he's doing it. And now it's more like I'm digging into the old vault and I'm just trying to like let myself go.
Do you have any advice for someone that's looking to get into popping?
Getting into popping. Oh, uh, get to know your community. Get to understand like the community of different styles like breaking, hip hop, popping. Go to the jams, go to the get downs, and also go to the classes too that are being taught in your city. Because like there's so many ways for people to find popping, especially in the world that we live in now, since the internet is like huge. You could just Google search like popping classes and in your city, and they will pop up. So for me, like how I got to, well, I didn't actually originally get to know people through the internet. I went to a university and I met different dancers there that were all affiliated with other dancers from Toronto, Montreal. So from getting to know them, I went to my first jam in Toronto. I didn't compete, but I got to see like other dancers there and just like get to know them from that. And I built like a friendship amongst them, and they would ask me to come back and jam out, just like come to their battles or just come to their get downs or come take their classes and stuff like that. And it just worked out that way. And it leads you to other places like Montreal is another good place too, where you can connect with like the popping community as well. But here in Ottawa, there's a good number of poppers that are well connected together. And it all starts off with just like getting to know your community, getting to know like where your practices are. Unfortunately, right now for COVID, like I would say search up street dance, find studios like Flavor Factory, look up their Instagram, and you'll find like people that teach there that are connected with other dancers throughout the entire city and possibly throughout the entire country as well.
Yeah, and so this is coming from someone that's not a popper. I did the same thing. That's how I met Armel. Like I was new to the street dance community coming from a choreography background. Oh, did I hit my mic? Coming from a choreography background, I was looking to get into street dance, something that's not as structured as what I was used to. But yeah, I did exactly like what Armel said. Like I would go to the universities, and I was exposed to third party. I was exposed to the Breakers of Ottawa. Shout out to third party, Shout out to Flavor Factory. Like I was exposed to many different groups, and even if like so if you want to get into popping, like popping is not my background, but it's something I'm curious in, and I know some basics and foundations and whatnot. But even if you don't find somebody in the popping community and you find somebody just in the street dance community, they will have a connection to somebody.
They will.
They
They always
will.
do.
They will have a connection to somebody that does street dance and popping.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from dancing and creating, what has been keeping you busy during the pandemic?
Oh, my work, exercising, and trying to eat healthy. Because as you age, you can't continue to eat the same stuff that you've been eating for a
No
long
more
time.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh man, I cut McDonald's out like long ago. I stopped eating a lot of fast food for a minute. I've been trying to like stay with like the whole like natural sources of food.
Mhm.
Like I've been ingesting a lot of sea moss. It's
Ooh, I heard that's really good for you.
it's really good for you. It's good for the bones. It's good for it's just good for everything because it contains like 92 out of 102 minerals of what our body is naturally made of.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
yeah,
Dang.
I didn't know that either until I like looked up a doctor by the name of Dr. Sebi. May he rest in power. And he really showed me that you can still eat the food. No, you can't still eat the food that you eat, but you can substitute other types of food to still make yourself full and have less cravings for like, like basically like you eat whatever it is that he's telling you to eat, right? And there are different ways that you can cook them to actually make them taste the way that you want them to taste. If you want it to taste sweet, it'll be sweet. If you want it to taste salty, it'll be salty. Like he has like different recipes, and I follow other people that follow his work, and they have like amazing salad recipes, amazing soup recipes, like substituting chicken for like what's that fruit? Jackfruits. Like you can
Ooh.
fry jackfruit and you can make it taste like chicken, a burger, or pulled pork. And I'm just like amazed by how being more vegan can actually be beneficial for you.
My final question for you is, where can everyone find your dancing and your work?
You can find my dancing at Armel Mz on Instagram. I'm going to make a new YouTube account very soon. I just need to make some more preparations, have things organized, contact certain videographers to start up my video concepts. Just trying to build up my portfolio that way. But for now, you can catch all my art pieces, my footages, my dance on my Instagram at ARMEL MZ, Armel Mz.
And I'll put the Instagram handle down below so y'all can check it out. Armel, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you guys are interested, I'll leave Armel's Instagram handle down below so you guys can check him out. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Peace.